everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from unseasonably warm Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today,
You almost
Dan,
lost the word show. You almost
I
couldn't
almost
think of
said
the word.
on the Dan Today show. We're going to be talking about a story that ProPublica broke about Utah's welfare system.
Yeah.
This is riveting stuff.
It is riveting. It's shocking.
It's really shocking.
I was not prepared for it, to be perfectly honest with you. And you would think that as long as you and I have been sort of staring down the Utah state government and the Mormon Church, that we would have seen this coming.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that makes perfect sense once you hear it, which is...
It's the kind of thing that that doesn't... Yeah. You kind of... You're like, oh, well, I guess they would do that. But it's also like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so we'll get into that second half of the show. Hopefully that teased you enough.
Oh, do you feel
Everybody.
teased?
Yeah, I hope
dirty birds.
so. Dan,
Yes.
are you as big a fan of Dr. Oz as I am?
No, I think probably yes.
But that means
That would be on the negative side.
so not a fan at all.
No.
Yeah, Dr. Oz, who, if you don't know who Dr. Oz is, he's the star of the Dr. Oz show, which didn't it kind of come on the heels of Oprah?
Oprah unleashed
launched
him
onto the world, right?
Like there was, I saw a tweet recently that was like, I love Oprah, but I will never forgive her for unleashing Doctors Oz and Phil on the world.
No kidding. Well, anyway, Dr. Oz has announced that he's running for Senate, U.S. Senate, in Pennsylvania. And it's alarming on the side of, he's a quack.
He is, to be clear, our distaste for him is not personal. It is because he is a doctor,
Right.
who promotes horrible bad science, pseudoscience nonsense.
Yeah.
Constantly.
He was behind all behind the hydrochloroquine.
The hydroxychloroquine. Yeah.
Hydroxychloroquine. Yeah, thank you. And he's downplayed COVID deaths. He has promoted raspberry ketones for burning fat. He says that you can sleep with a bar of lavender soap. Just sleep with it in bed with you to help with your leg cramps. These are things that he's on record for green coffee bean extract to lose weight, using strawberries to whiten your teeth.
To be clear,
Like, it's
every time he promotes one of these, he's promoting a specific company that provides it.
Yes,
That he is getting money from.
absolutely.
Like, it is never his medical opinion. It is his financial opinion
Yeah.
that you should promote, that you should try these things.
So of course we don't like quackery on this show.
No.
But that's not enough to like have somebody, we normally wouldn't talk about Dr. Phil running for
Dr. Oz.
or Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
I don't know, which one would you rather have, Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz?
Oh, God. It's like, do you want to watch a car crash or a train wreck? It's
Anyway, normally that probably wouldn't be enough for us to mention him. However, did you know that if he actually ends up in the Senate, he would be the first practicing Muslim in the
Senate?
in the U.S. Senate? Which makes sense. I'm not surprised there aren't any already.
right.
But I didn't even know he was a practicing Muslim.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't play it up.
No.
That's for sure.
But anyway, is he
running as a Republican?
as a Republican?
Okay.
He, of course, was a medical advisor, science advisor to Donald Trump.
That's correct. That makes sense.
This whole just like, oh golly. But he seriously was like a top heart surgeon. Like he's he was a real deal, like, head of his field type. And then he wound up on television, and now he's just like lost it, right?
Well, I mean,
but he was at Columbia University's medical school. And back in 2015, a bunch of prominent doctors called on Columbia University to the medical dean to remove Oz from the medical school's faculty, because they're like, this guy, you can't have him. He's not, he can't be out there promoting basically witchcraft,
yeah,
like hocus pocus, woo nonsense, right? And
then still get to teach
he still gets to be
medicine
on your board and have all the prestige that, or not on your board, be on your faculty and have all the prestige that comes along with that.
Tarnishes the institution.
Yeah, but Dr. Oz is still there, apparently. And he is the director of Columbia's Integrative Medicine Center.
Integrative medicine, of course.
Which combines conventional medicine with non-traditional treatments, such as yoga and meditation.
And coffee beans. And sleeping with a soap.
And sleeping with lavender soap. Among the incredible list of just crazy nonsense the man has promoted on his show.
Right. Here's the thing. I used to have a sense, like my sense of like how much I should respect a doctor, how much I should respect a lawyer, all those things. This era, the last 4 years of our world, 4 to 5 years, has really given me a good sense of how misplaced a lot of my respect was. Because ding-dongs, like genuine ding-dongs, can make it through law school. Yeah. Like Rudy Giuliani has made it clear to me. Oh no, that's not. You just have to know how. You just have to be able to do the homework. You don't need to be actually smart or anything. And then you look at like this Oz and Oz, he may be. Yes, I have no problem believing he was a brilliant heart surgeon. Mm-hmm. That's mechanics. You know what I mean? Like that. He's just opening the hood and tuning up. And he's probably great at it. He's got great hands. He understands everything about the heart. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make him, someone to listen to about a bunch of other stuff.
A lot of people kind of mistake expertise in one specific area as broadly knowledgeable. Right. And the fact of the matter is, in order to get to that level, you've studied a lot. He knows a lot about the human, general anatomy and everything, of course. Right. But he is so focused in on one thing. It doesn't mean he knows all of this other stuff, but we're culturally just predisposed to, like, if you've reached this higher echelon of education, right? You got a PhD or you're a medical doctor or whatever, like that means that you're like this source of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And it's just not the case.
It's just not the case.
It's a narrow lane that a lot of these people are in, and don't give them more credit than they're due.
Yeah. And speaking of people who don't deserve more credit than they're due, I have an unfortunate story about Richard Dawkins, the man whose Twitter account we insist must be taken away. Toot sweet! Who is next to Richard Dawkins? Cancel. Just delete his account. Say it was an accident. He's too old to figure it out.
Just unlog him in.
Yeah.
Just log him out.
Log him out. He does not know his password. Somebody please. The most recent thing, his big thing these days is that he is anti-trans. He is not okay. He is just a fucking dick about the whole trans thing. So he recently tweeted a link to a quote declaration on women's sex-based rights. It's this terrible organization that has put this together that is basically just there to deny trans women rights, and separate trans women from women's rights and all of that sort of thing. It is just a stupid ugliness, and he is just an increasingly old man who doesn't want to look like, he's a biologist, he is a scientist. He completely ignores the science, the current science on transgenderism and gender and sex in general. He should know this stuff. But no, he has decided that he's going to be best friends with J.K. Rowling and just go down the ignorant path on that.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. And it's why we can't have nice things.
So what's new?
That's what's new. He did the thing. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's anti-trans. That's it. I just,
Oh, okay.
It's just one of those things where we as a movement have lionized this man, and for a lot of good that he has done, and a lot of but now we have to start asking ourselves, who's going to step in? We need some new heroes to step in, because, or rather, let's not have heroes.
No. Yeah.
But some new luminaries, some new big thinkers,
Some new good voices. Yeah.
That hopefully aren't
that are more inclusive, a little bit more in line.
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody doesn't have to believe the same things that I believe, but I feel like everybody who considers themselves even mildly humanist in their approach to the world has to honor the humanity of humans. You know what I mean? You can't just take a whole swath of humans who are saying, "Hey, look, this is my lived experience," and say, "Yeah, no, nah."
Why is it? Because why the doubling down? That's what I don't get. Right? Like why do the people who come out and say these awful things about the trans community, when they're confronted, they tend to just, it's like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And it's this he's chosen, the hill that he's going to die on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, man, I guess so. If that's, you're going to die on that hill.
Yeah. And for anyone who out there who's struggling with the idea of, what is this trans thing? Or if it doesn't make sense to you, fine. Guess what? It doesn't have to make sense to you.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's a million things in the world that don't make sense to me. People have all sorts of different experiences that I don't understand.
Yeah.
All I have to do is just affirm their personhood. You know what I mean? Look, if it's, no one is getting gender affirming surgery and going through the hell that trans people go through because they're treated like shit by society as an attention grab. That's not what's happening.
Right.
Nobody would do that. It's way too much.
Right.
And if you don't believe that, go ahead and just try it. Go out into the world as, and try, living your life as a trans person.
Tyra Banks it. Yeah.
Get out there. Get out there.
Go and do a horrible experiment. Trying to walk in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah. Just send us a video of it. That'd be great.
I don't know that that's what people need to do.
No.
All people need
Don't worry, Frank. They're not gonna.
I know. I'm a little worried, actually.
Don't worry. The people I'm talking to, they're not going to try it. It's fine.
No, but it's just that whole thing of accepting people at face value.
Yeah.
Right. Just saying, okay, that is your experience. That is your life.
Right.
And not sitting there and having to fight back for whatever reason.
Right. I don't get it. That doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
You know what? Some men are attracted to other men and I don't get it.
Yeah.
So that's wrong. Wrong.
Just go kiss a guy.
Just get
Find
out there.
out.
You know what? Blow a guy and report back. Why not?
You might like it.
You might enjoy.
You might discover something about yourself.
You'll definitely discover something about yourself. That's a guarantee. Oh my God.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah.
We did not touch upon this story when it first hit.
That's good. We try to avoid big stories.
Well, this isn't really that big of a story.
Okay.
The Mormon Church, that's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for everybody. In case
if you want to get,
yes,
if you're feeling nasty,
they have, they just have the worst taste in architecture. They really do. They've had a couple moments where they've done some things that were kind of nice. There's a number of older meeting houses, chapels here in Salt Lake City that are quite lovely, but they don't do that anymore.
No. It is literally corporate architecture straight down the line now.
It's so gross. And then there's their very special buildings, their temples, which are, of course, places of the sacred places of worship and learning. And you have to be only the most worthy of the Mormons get to go in them.
Right. Or the ones who just claim to be.
They're so special, these temples. And again, they had a couple hits. They had a couple buildings in different points in their history that are nice looking buildings. And one of them that is a little bit of an acquired taste, but it's still a fun building, is the Mormon temple down in Provo.
It is either panned or you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
It looks like the mothership has landed.
It's really a special building.
It's got a very sort of 60s sci-fi vibe to it. It's actually great. I really like it.
I like it too.
And the fact that you and I like it is probably why
they would not, the church leadership would not like it.
Anyway,
they have announced plans to reconstruct the temple. And then Thanksgiving week, I believe it was. So early last week, or mid, it doesn't matter when last week, they released some images of what the new remodeled Provo temple is going to look like. And it is, they're completely taking off. Now, you got to picture this, what it is right now. It's this white box, essentially.
It's kind of round.
It is a square with rounded edges.
Yeah.
And it has like these nice vertical panels that kind of come up with thin windows between them.
It looks like lady fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. You could make this out of...
This is a tiramisu.
With white frosting. And then with a carrot stuck in the middle.
A carrot poking out the top.
Right at the top as a big spire in the middle. And it's not... It's a weird building, right? I appreciate it, but I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, they are taking all of that off and they're making it look like one of their just generic temples that they're building these days.
It's not good. The new. I mean, what's funny is it's a throwback to sort of even earlier stuff. It's not so they're taking old architecture that's sort of mid-century. And a mid-century thing, and then they're throwing it back to like mid-last century.
Yeah, but a total gross version.
Just a nonsense. It's just a box now.
Yeah.
with a pokey spire at the top. It's not good.
Like you were saying, the Provo temple and then its twin Ogden temple. They were built back in the 70s, early 70s. Here's a quote from one early critic. The early pioneers would not have been so callous in their approach to building or to housing the activities of their faith. He says these were revolutionary temples, right? Yeah. They were the temples that were sort of first designed to be really efficient in their internal layout.
Oh, interesting.
So they have multiple endowment rooms that all feed into a central celestial room.
Yeah.
right? And if you're ex-Mormon, that'll mean something to you.
Yeah.
The rest of you, sorry, we're not going to get into the temple.
It's
right
where
now.
they do all the hocus pocus.
but you're always supposed to end in the, or you do always end in the celestial realm,
Which is traditionally just a white and gold Marriott hotel lobby.
Yeah. And so, but the designer, the architect of the temple, he went and visited the Salt Lake City temple with a stopwatch, and he went and did a session, and he took notes as to like when people were getting, like, how long they were waiting while they were standing up and moving on to the next room, because it used to be that you would get up and move to the next part of the next part of the endowment would be sort of played out in the next room.
Yeah.
And so he went through and he figured out what all these different points were in the ceremony. And then he very carefully designed this new building to
actually
be really
did
efficient.
Did architecture.
Yeah. And so in the Provo temple, there's escalators going up and down. And like, I remember it was clear that they had like all these different little lights that would turn on to indicate what's going on at the certain time in the different rooms and whatnot. Like as you were like walking into the endowment session or room that you were going
Number
to.
23, your order's ready?
It was basically along those lines. Yeah. But anyway, so he sort of revolutionized the Mormon temple with this new design, which the nicknames that the faithful ended up giving the or the Provo temple, they called it the Lord's Thumbtack, the Mothership, the Celestial Cupcake, Carrot Top, the Carousel, amongst others.
Yeah, it's a cute building. They're ruining everything.
It's
what basically the statement now is. This conflicts with our homogeneity.
Mm-hmm.
This has personality, and we will not abide it.
No personality. Anyway, there is a petition. That's what ended up bringing this to my attention.
Oh, okay.
A petition has been formed. Hundreds of Mormons have signed it, urging the church to please preserve the architectural history of the church rather than keep stripping these buildings of.
It's not like there are 12 other temples within a 15-minute drive.
Yes, and they're building more.
Yeah, they don't need to do that.
No,
they're just someone very high up in the Mormon Church hates that building and has always hated that building and has the power to do something about it.
Russell Nelson, perhaps?
Rusty? Listen, you curmudgeon. Just leave the shit alone. All right. Okay. Trigger warning. Prep yourselves, everybody.
God,
this is a depressing story.
Why?
Because I think because it's important. It was recently Thanksgiving here in these United States. And one Amelia Roseborough had apparently gone on a hunting trip with her father, and where she had shot a doe. So a successful hunting trip, I suppose. This is in South Carolina. She came home, and suddenly others in the household heard a shot fired, and allegedly, it seems that she killed her own child.
Oh God. Okay.
So it's horrifying. Yeah. It's awful. And there's no indication that there was ever any like mental illness or anything like that.
Okay.
It seems that the reason that this 31-year-old shot her son was to get him to heaven.
Oh.
Which,
I mean, that's how the theology works.
That's how the fucking theology works.
Yeah. And why more people don't come to that conclusion is actually kind of shocking.
Everybody comes to that conclusion, but then they realize, oh, I can't kill a child. Like, there is a prevailing, like, interior morality that makes it very clear beyond what the theology says that you just can't kill a child. But if you were...
They're just bad Christians because it's clear what the...
I mean, it's the only conclusion to come to is that if there is the possibility that a person could have eternal torture, but you can actually intervene before they reach an age where they are accountable for their actions.
And you love them so much that you'll go to hell.
How is that not the correct choice?
Yeah.
Why are we not all killing all of the children?
I mean, there's also like, it's not just Christianity or religion that takes the mind to the same place, right? Like, if there's nothing after this life, why do any of us decide to live? Right.
Right.
Why would anybody bring a kid into this world? Right. Because all you're doing is you are inviting suffering.
Well,
by continuing to live, you are just going to continue to suffer. Right. And this is not obviously me saying that like people should go out and kill themselves.
Yeah.
I'm saying the mind.
Where are you going with this, Frank?
The mind goes there.
Sure.
Right. And it's only the mind that needs a lot of help that actually takes it to where she went.
Right. Yeah. And it's very clear that this is a tragedy, and I don't revel in it at all.
No.
Obviously. But it is one of those things where how do you escape that her conclusion, ostensibly? I don't know what, more details are will come out. But how do you I only wanted to bring it up because it seems like the only ethical choice to make. You know what I mean? Like if you can ensure that one or hundreds or thousands of souls can just skip the test.
Christians should be pro-abortion.
1,000%.
Like mad.
Maybe not for themselves, but they should be like, make it legal and let all the other people do it. I'm not allowed to. My God has told me not to do it, but this is a mitzvah.
All of those abortions that they, that they just moan about,
right?
Cry and freak out about.
That is a soul. That is one of God's precious children
that just went back to Jesus.
They got a free ticket to heaven.
Yeah. How is that a bad thing?
Name how that is a bad thing. Oh my God. This I mean, so yeah.
We should really be in charge of Christianity. We obviously have a much better and much more coherent take on it than
the problem is the internal incoherence of Christianity is unreconcilable. They should put us in charge of Christianity, at which point we would immediately say, sorry, Christianity is closed. We've gone out of business.
Call again. Please.
Oh my God.
Ay.
So sad.
Oh boy. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I picked this story to do because it has two very big problems. One, it's a sports story and we never get them right. Right?
What are you talking about? I'm a sports fanatic.
We're such sports experts. And then it's Premier League. So, which is of course UK soccer.
Yeah.
What we Americans call soccer, they call football. And we have no point of reference here. This is.
I've watched Ted Lasso. I know exactly what's going on.
So thanks to Ted Lasso, all Americans
currently
we get soccer now.
I went to 2 professional soccer games this season, so
really?
I'm very up on my football.
Well, anyway, there's a Qatar based broadcaster called BEIN, BEIN, which I've seen it before. I always thought it was bien, right?
like bien, like French.
And I guess I don't know
it's
if that's
just BEIN.
BEIN. B capital B lowercase e capital I capital N.
Oh,
BEIN.
Okay.
And it's the BEIN Media Group, and they must have a sports channel. One of their better known commentators, a fellow by the name of Mohammed Abutrika.
Nailed it.
So good. He's a former professional soccer player.
Sure.
He's retired. He's Egyptian. He's Muslim. Apparently, the Premier League has been doing something called Rainbow Laces. It's this campaign to promote, or just to show support of the LGBT community.
Nice.
Right? And so the players who want to participate, it's not mandatory from the sound of it, but those that want to have rainbow shoelaces.
Bootlaces.
Bootlaces?
I believe that they call the
Why are they
the
boots?
footwear of football kit boots.
They're boots?
Yeah.
Okay, well that doesn't make any sense to me. But the laces on their footwear are rainbows, and so this, of course, this is the whole thing. People just can't help themselves. They have to say something. Well, he went on a tirade. Apparently, he criticized the Premier League's campaign, and this potentially could cause a problem for Qatar in a sense, right? Because I guess they're going to be hosting the World Cup.
That's right. And this has been a controversial thing from the beginning.
Yeah, people are they're not necessarily happy about this. But BN sounds like they're not too stoked that he said this stuff. I don't know if they're going to discipline him for this or anything, but
they're in a really shitty position right now because of course they agree with him.
Yeah.
But they know they know better than to say it.
Right.
Like the official position of a group like that, that is on the international stage is say nothing.
Yeah.
Because they know that they'll get in trouble.
They've come out and they have said, this is their statement: as a global media group, we represent, champion, and support people, causes, and interests of every single background, language, and cultural heritage across 43 hugely diverse countries, as we show every day. So they're not coming out and saying, yay, gay rights, but they're basically just saying I guess the issue is he was a little upset that they're broadcasting these games that have these displays of solidarity toward the gay community.
Dude, it's just
and so they're just we're going to show it.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's all we can do.
Right.
Because we're trying to just kind of be something for everyone.
Basically,
that's also not a statement that says we support the
what
gay
that
community.
statement says to me is, please keep watching us. Please.
Yeah. So
we're not denying that we're homophobic. We just want you to keep watching us.
yeah. I guess the league is not happy. Premier League has said that we wholeheartedly disagree with the pundits' views. The Premier League and its clubs are committed to supporting LGBTQ plus inclusion and making clear football is for everyone.
That's nice.
So
just not women. That's all.
Not women. And good luck.
I'm probably going to get in trouble. There's probably Premier League women's soccer too, but
yeah. But taking big international events and putting them into the Middle East, especially things that are coming from the West, boy, you're just kind of asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Right?
Because guess what? We're going to put some rainbows on some shit.
Yeah.
Have some fun with that, guys.
It's like Hollywood movies going into, the Middle East or into China or wherever. It is a clash of cultures out there in the world right now.
Yeah.
And dicks like that guy.
There you go.
With a microphone.
I am going to close this out with some more tragedy. This is particularly going to hit the Just for Men Corporation hard.
Oh no!
Because the very obviously colored in goatee of one Marcus Lamb is no longer with us.
Oh no!
Marcus Lamb is the founder and president of Daystar Television Network, which is one of the big Christian nutball networks here in these United States and probably abroad as well.
Ugh.
And he is a big deal. And has been, and for the last year and a half has been warning his listeners, his viewers, about the dangers of COVID vaccines, about the nonsense that is COVID, that it's all a right-wing or it's all a left-wing conspiracy. He's been one of these guys. He's a big hydroxychloroquine guy, ivermectin guy, and just been promoting this thing. Now, here's the thing. Yes, he died of COVID this week.
Of course he did.
Yeah. And, not enough of the anti-vaxxers are dying of COVID. So one doesn't want to celebrate someone's death, except I kind of do for him. He was hurting people deeply.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's not able to do that anymore. But lest you think this is what the reason I wanted to bring this up is because this is the infuriating thing.
Okay.
Before he died, when Daystar and his family announced that he was struggling with a pretty bad case of COVID, they immediately jumped to a narrative that his people that their viewers could latch on to that won't be helpful. Because what we all hope when someone who is a huge anti-vaxxer dies of the disease that he is cautioning people to not get vaccinated against, is that people will go, oh, he was wrong. Mm-hmm. I should go do the opposite thing.
Right. That's not how these things
That's
work.
not how this plays out. And here's how it does play out. Immediately, as soon as they announced it, his son was out there saying things like, this is an attack by the adversary.
Oh my God. He succumbed to the adversary?
Well, yeah. I mean, that you would think that would also be a thing. Like,
that doesn't seem like a good message.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that, so his son Jonathan said this quote, "There's no doubt in my mind that this is a spiritual attack from the enemy. As much as my parents have gone on here to kind of inform everyone about everything going on to the pandemic and some of the ways to treat COVID, there's no doubt that the enemy is not happy about that, and he's doing everything he can to take down my dad." This is a guy who has had all of the big players in COVID denial on his shows. He, that Tenpenny Lady and all Robert Kennedy Jr. and Del Bigtree is a guy. I don't know who. Yeah. So like the Dirty Dozen, I think they call a lot. I call them. Mm-hmm. And then, that dozen people are responsible for like 90% of the misinformation that's out there.
Yep.
But this guy was also responsible. This guy was perpetuating it, just unabashedly putting out a bunch of lies. Oh, Bigtree was the guy that did the film Vaxxed, which was pre-COVID.
Oh my.
I think. But was about how vaccines are awful and blah, 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 blah.
Just the worst. I mean, preventing illness and disease.
Right?
Just
who
wants that?
Give me polio back, please, sir.
It's like cool.
Yeah. So anyway, one fewer promoter of those things out there in the world.
Yeah, but it sounds like his family is more than happy to step in and keep it going.
Yeah.
His son will inherit his dad's position.
It does make one wonder, like, how many people will this event cause enough cognitive dissonance in that they will like and just sort of start looking for other sources and start wondering about things? Because it's got to do it with some folks, right? Right?
One can hope.
Okay. Well, I if you listener out there in listener land have a story of some event like this actually shaking someone out of their misinformation stupor, please write it into us. podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. We'd love to hear your voice. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around. We have voicemail and email coming right up.
Well, Frank, 'Tis the season
Oh, yeah.
For
ding dingling.
for Kent Christmas.
Oh, what a lucky man.
Tis
Is that
the-
his real last name?
Well, it's the last name that he uses. I don't know. I mean, I didn't check his birth certificate or
How,
anything.
like, what would your life be like, Dan, if your last name was Christmas?
Well, I'll say this. The man wears fancy shirts. Festive. I would go so far as to say festive. It looks like someone ate a bunch of confetti while they were heavily drinking and then vomited it all over his shirt.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what a beautiful image.
Yeah. We've talked about Kent Christmas before. Anyway, there's a mystery that he he's discovered a mystery. He has his own solution for it, but for now, let's just present the quandary.
Indeed.
I can't think of one big Democrat that's died from the coronavirus. I can't think of one billionaire that's died of the coronavirus. Bill Gates is fine. George Soros is fine. Biden's fine. He's 80 years old and half dead anyway. Rupert Murdoch's fine. The CEOs of Vanguard and Berkshire Hathaway and State City and Mark Zuckerberg, they're just fine. Doesn't that make you wonder?
Yeah, doesn't it make you wonder?
Are you wondering, Frank?
What did all those people...
What could be the common theme? What is it that they're all that binds all of these people together?
Could it be?
It must be a conspiracy. And that's where he goes with it. It's like he does not go. He manages to deftly avoid a conclusion that we are all of you.
If the behavior, if your whole thing, right, your side's approach to a real problem, he acknowledges it. He's not saying there's no coronavirus out there.
He's saying that people are dying of
People
corona.
are dying of coronavirus, right? And it's our people,
Yeah.
right?
What does this mean?
The only like real people, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
The
And
only
so-
valid humans.
Yeah. So whatever they're doing is the right thing, clearly. So what are the rest of these people doing? Yeah.
Well, what it means is that this is a targeted virus. I'm not sure.
Oh.
I'm not sure how you do it.
Is that what he said? Did he say? Did he use that
I didn't
word?
watch. I don't watch his show.
I have it on
Fortunately,
my DVR at home, but I
yeah,
haven't gotten to this episode yet.
yeah. I mean, it's good. It's obviously good. TiVo it if you can. DVR. Does anybody use DVR? It's all just streaming now.
Excuse me. Some things are just best enjoyed
You
recorded off the live
You,
broadcast.
sir, are an 87-year-old man.
I don't have a DVR, man.
All right. Well, we had some folks write into us, call into us, all of those things. So let's get right to it. I will start. Our good friend Teresa English, who we had on the show maybe about a year ago, who when we were really pushing people to join the fray politically,
Oh yeah.
as an out and open atheist.
Yeah.
And Teresa has run for office and is apparently, again, she says, hi from beautiful Billerica, Mass. Is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
I have jumped into the political fray again and
Oh.
formally announced my candidacy for state representative last month. Congratulations.
Nice. Well done.
The holidays are a great time for fundraising. If people are thinking about launching a campaign, and as soon as the holidays are over, people start announcing for the November election. Local Democratic parties are also heavily recruiting for every position right now, and anyone who lives in a place full of howler monkeys needs to be standing up for decency and reason. The time for sitting on the sidelines is over. So I just wanted to read that out because I think that that's a great thing to be thinking about in this season. Maybe you can get politically involved where you are.
Yeah.
And now, 12 months before
Yeah.
or 11 months before the next election is a good time
And there's
to find your place in that fray.
And there's something for everyone. You don't have to run for office. If you want to run for office, run for office. But like, you can support a candidate in myriad ways.
Go join a campaign.
A little bit of money goes a long way.
Ask your local, party where you can be useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they will find a place for you.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, get involved and be out and proud with your non-belief.
Yeah,
and I think that's great. So thanks, Teresa. I think we have a voicemail or two, maybe.
We do have a couple voicemails. Last week, Dan, you said something that this listener didn't care for.
I said plenty of things last week.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm hoping I can settle an argument. I'm listening to your most recent episode, and you're talking about things that Dan doesn't like about Christmas. And Christmas music came up, and I'm so sorry, Dan, but when it comes to Mariah Carey's incredible pop anthem, you are just wrong. It is not only the best Christmas song in existence, it might be one of the best pop songs ever composed. Frank, as you were, you're doing great. Yeah, have a good one.
Well, thank you. Yes, I know.
Maybe this listener has just never worked retail during the Christmas season.
I don't know.
Because I think maybe that song worked for the first, 400 times you hear it.
No, a perfect song always works.
Oh God. Oh,
it is one of the few like truly pop Christmas songs that I actually like.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've always liked it.
Google All I Want for Christmas Is You, worst song ever. And the chorus of people on my side will come follow.
And there are plenty of people on the other side, Daniel.
Yes,
I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
people like me and the listener.
This is a point of personal preference.
And I'm not a huge pop music person. I don't even like Mariah Carey that much.
Which disqualifies your position outright.
No, I know a good song when I hear it. That's what I'm saying.
It's not even about Christmas. It's about wanting a one night stand. That's all. That's the funniest thing about it. All right, that's fine. I thank you for your opinion. Seth wrote into us. Seth specifies she/her pronouns. Thank you, Seth. Salutations. I just wanted to write in some support for Uncle Dan for committing the social taboo of not liking Christmas. A big reason I'm not fond of the holiday is the surreal disconnect between the trappings of Xmas and the way it's actually experienced. I find this brilliant. Most people I know have trick-or-treated for Halloween or eaten turkey at Thanksgiving. I don't know anyone who has gone caroling or seen caroling in the wild. Does anyone know what chestnuts roasting on an open fire taste like?
I do.
I do too, but but it was in Europe that I had it.
Yeah, same here.
That's different. You don't see it here. Does anyone extolling the virtues of a one-horse open sleigh have the experience to back up those praises? The place I live in has seen maybe 1.5 inches of snow within the last 10 years, and yet everywhere I look, paper snowmen grin back at me. For Christmas, it seems like we're culturally pressured into celebrating the nostalgic memories of a generation that has since died off.
Oh, wow.
They're not wrong.
I mean, it is a lot of.
She is not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of like what Bing Crosby music and people I don't have no reference point with except for their Christmas music.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just a lot in the ethos, in the gestalt of Christmas that has nothing to do with modern day lives.
Yeah.
I will say I have gone caroling.
Yeah, I'm familiar with caroling too. I did.
But I haven't seen caroling. Like, nobody goes just to random homes.
We did.
Really? You didn't just pick people in your ward? It was people in the ward.
I think we started it as somebody but like, it was like you just go out and you just do it. I don't think we drove around because we would have had to like drive around between singing.
Yeah.
I think there were some people in the ward.
I want to revive the thing of aggressive caroling until they bring you treats.
We all want some figgy pudding.
No, that's what it used to be. It used to be like, you get us drunk and give us some treats, or like, or I don't know what the consequence is, but it was like, that's what you were out there for.
We won't leave until we get some.
You just keep singing at their house. You know what? And if they're like, look, I don't have anything. There's a store around the corner. We will follow you to it.
We'll stand here while you go shopping. We'll stand here while you go shopping.
Exactly. Exactly.
So go get some food.
I'll do another email real quick. This is from David. Hey, Frank and Dan, I understand seeing people go overboard with decorations can be nauseating, especially the over-religious. But as a non-believer, I enjoy seeing the blandness of December levitated by a nice splash of color.
I agree.
By the way, same with offices. I'm the only non-Christian in my department, and most people are remotely working, but the blah brown needed some color. He sent us a picture of his cubicle decorated with some lovely red and green.
That's great. Yeah,
business.
I was always the one who decorated the office at my last job.
Yeah,
because you need something. You do. I know exactly where the emailer is.
Go ahead and deck the halls. Why the hell not?
All right. Well, I have another voicemail, and this listener is sharing what they're going to be up to this holiday season.
Okay.
Instead of Christmas.
Hi, Frank and Dan. I love your show. Thank you for existing. Recent ex-Mormon in Utah County and just living the life. But you guys were talking about how to survive Christmas. And I decided that this year I'm going to celebrate Saturnalia instead. And I think what I'm most excited for is that it looks just like Christmas, because like Christmas is just Saturnalia, but the Christians took it over, you know? Anyway, so we've got the tree, we've got all the normal things, but then I get to just rib all of the Christians around me and tell them that I'm celebrating Saturnalia instead. Anyway, so excited for that. And excited to hear some more episodes and more advice on living in this life. So thanks so much for all you do. Bye.
Well, a good Saturnalia to you.
A merry Saturnalia, everyone. Let us celebrate. I mean, you're moving from celebrating one fake god to another, but that's neither here nor there. Saturn's a much better. Just top your tree. Do me a favor.
Saturn is at least real.
Well,
it's actually a planet.
There's a planet called Saturn. Yeah. So maybe as a tree topper, consider a planetary tree topper.
Oh, yeah.
Get some rings and stuff. Yeah, mm-hmm. I think but yes, delightful. Congratulations on leaving the church. Well done. Mm-hmm. And yes, happy Saturnalia to you.
And continuing to brave Utah County.
Yes.
Well done.
Well, get out.
Get out. No. Get out. I mean, people need, if people are willing to stay in places like Utah County,
or
and fight
Alabama,
the good fight,
or wherever,
and be there and be a presence, I wish them all the best.
Honestly, you're amazing. You are a better person than I, and I mean, I do wish them the best.
We're still in Utah. It's not like we fled to some.
That's true. That's a good point.
Great liberal, godless place.
Yeah, some atheist mecca.
Get out of that hellhole down in Utah County. Come up to our hellhole.
Listen, Utah County is its own version of special. All right, we have a few people to thank. I'm going to start us off. First of all, there was a whole thing. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was a few weeks ago when I had COVID. And everything kind of got broken on the show for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then Frank got sick. So deep apologies.
It was a rough
to Grandpa Jerry, who in honor of the fact that we were gonna have a meetup.
Yeah.
But Grandpa Jerry couldn't come. He donated an extra $100.
Oh.
Just to be sweet.
Oh, that's so nice.
So Grandpa Jerry, I'm so glad that you reached out again. so that we could properly thank you.
Yeah.
The money didn't get lost in the mix, but but our appreciation did, and that's not acceptable. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And also thanks to Philida, who wrote a lovely email, just said, it's been a good year, so I sent you an extra $50 and 50 cents.
Nice.
Philida has been a patriarch since before there were patriarchs. So a loyal supporter, one of our dear supporters. But thank you so much for the extra added holiday cheer.
That's really sweet.
And you've got some other people.
I do. We have a new patron over on Patreon.
Yes,
Dan,
yes.
Who is now who is a priest.
Oh,
Who's
blessings upon you, priest far harder.
Yes, you've purchased yourself one of the finest priesthoods.
It's a golden era. It's a beautiful thing. Go get you some bread and water and make it magic, because you have that ability now.
You're so lucky. And if you'd like to join these kind folk and supporting the show, you can do so by going to thankgodimatheist.com and clicking on the support tab.
And if that is not, I just wanted to throw something out there. If you are in any atheist themed groups on Facebook, if you're on Reddit or whatever, it would really help us a lot if your Christmas present to us was that you told folks about the show.
Oh, yeah.
Help get the word out.
Yeah.
Tell people that you like it. Lie to them and say that it's a really excellent program. Any way that you can help us get the word out about our show would be lovely.
Yes, indeed. And as always, Dan, we have our top donor to thank.
We do indeed.
Our Lord and Savior, Demonium. Thanks, everyone.
More to come. Well, Frank,
Dan.
we teased it earlier. An expose has come out about the Mormon Church and the state of Utah.
Yeah. And the unholy alliance between the two.
Oh my God.
Which we knew.
We're in a theocracy. We understand that. If the church says jump, the legislature says how high.
Right.
That's how it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
That is how it will continue to be. But I didn't know it was
on the functional side of our government.
This
where it's
feels
on the services side of our government.
Like we're in illegal territory. Yeah. I hope it is illegal. Maybe we'll need to get an Andrew on or something to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a problem. Here's the deal, as I understand it. Basically, every state in these United States is forced by the federal government to do a bare minimum of welfare for the poorest of our fellow citizens.
Yes.
And it is a pathetically low bar.
Mm-hmm.
It is a disgustingly low bar.
For the wealthiest country in the world?
Yeah. For a country that could have exactly zero poverty without breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
We have extreme poverty, and it is incredibly difficult to get services.
Mm-hmm.
In Utah, they find ways to set that bar as low, a little bit lower. And one of the ways that they have done to be as shitty as they can possibly be is they've turned over a percentage of that serving of our lower income population.
Yeah. Our actual welfare program, providing for the poor and
the injured and those who cannot do for themselves.
Yeah.
They turned it over to the church.
Yeah.
And they have no problem with the fact that the church, whom they've turned it over to, demands membership.
Yeah.
Before they will practice
these services.
Providing services.
Yeah. Because even if you're a member, there's still strings attached.
Yeah.
For receiving, because they have the bishop's warehouse or storehouse or whatever it's called.
Right. Yep.
We're members of the church who are in need of food and toilet paper and basic necessities.
Right.
It's basically a church run supermarket.
Yeah.
I've never been in one, but I've heard.
Yeah.
And you go in and they have all this because the church owns a vast agricultural empire.
Yeah.
And food production facilities.
Yeah.
And so they have all this church baked bread and church made cheese and dairy products,
canned vegetables.
Yeah.
Pasta sauce, whatever, obviously no spices of any kind.
It's the prophet requires that it be bland.
Right. Yes.
No, I've actually heard people be really positive about the quality of the food.
Yeah, I've eaten it. I've never been to the storehouse, but I've eaten the food they're from, and it's totally fine. It's good.
Yeah.
However, in order to go there, the reason it's called the bishop's storehouse is because each person that wants to go there has to go and grovel to their bishop, and their bishop decides with them or for them how much food they actually need and how much they're going to get. The bishop actually has the ability to pay people's rent,
their phone bills.
Yeah, when
utilities.
I worked for a cell phone company, 15 years ago, a couple of times people came in and paid very large phone bills with a check from the church.
It's just crazy. Yeah,
but the thing is, this is the job of the government.
Yeah,
and what they've done is create a religious test to receive aid. The thought of which, for me, just literally go and read the New Testament and see if there's anywhere where Jesus says, help the poor, but first make sure that they sign a contract that they love me.
But and that they're worthy of the help.
Worthiness is really the main thing that you need to take into consideration when you're helping someone who's starving.
You have to be a tithe payer, right? The bishop, so you're out of work or you're only bringing in a very small amount of money.
Yeah.
Whatever money is coming in, they want you paying 10%.
Yeah.
They want you to be a full tithe payer. So you have to give up some of the very little means that you have,
right?
And then they're willing to pay your phone bill and get you some cheese and whatever.
And they literally control you. They have you over a fucking barrel.
Yeah,
and the state won't do shit for you. And a lot of this is for people who are just above the line where the state has to do something. That line is arbitrary and does not mean, and being above it does not mean you can feed your family.
Right.
Because we live in a very, very shitty country that does not take care of its people.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I gotta think that this is a constitutional violation.
I don't know the ins and outs of exactly what the relationship is. I mean, it's not like the state has officially said our welfare services are provided by the Mormon Church.
I mean, it kind of does, Frank. There is a budgetary agreement that the state has with the church welfare program, which I don't understand what that, the implications of that, the full implications of that, but there is some sort of handshake there. So I find it shocking.
Right.
I mean, this is part of that. I mean, the right wing wants to divest the government of all services. And this was, W had all of his faith-based initiatives and all of that sort of thing. But it's desperately important that it be kept out of the faith realm and kept in the political realm.
Well, yeah, because the power to coerce people into a religion, it shouldn't exist.
It should Like no one should feel that they have to join a church to feed their family.
Just have their basic needs taken care of. Yeah.
It's unconscionable.
Right.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
It may actually, if it is illegal, this expose might be enough to actually have some real teeth, because everywhere else but here, Mormons are the weirdos. And I don't think they realize that. And a lot of times they think they can do things with impunity. But then again, there's this sort of gentleman's agreement among all of the faiths that we'll all just not interfere in when they're doing what we want to do anyway. Then why would we interfere with that?
Yeah,
it's a weird thing. I don't know. It genuinely shocked me. It genuinely surprised me.
I found it shocking, and then I was like, well, yeah, of course that's how they would do it.
Yeah,
because it just makes it's so perfectly Utah. It's so perfectly the Mormon Church.
It's so deviously manipulative and heartless, and such a bald-faced grab for members. It's a really dark ugliness, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they celebrate it. I'm sure they think it's real cute.
Well, they're bringing souls unto Christ.
Yeah.
Through their good works, through their welfare program.
Right.
It's an inspired program, Dan.
Of course it is. Yeah, absolutely. And it should be an inspiration to all the world.
If only they could find such an effective, coercive technique to get more people to join the church.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they have an R&D department that's like
constantly workshopping all of these ideas. What are their Muslims doing? They're growing, right? Let's look at what they're doing. Well, if you have ever been coerced into religion in order to feed your family, please feel free to tell us about it. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com is the address.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, hey, go to the Facebook page, would you? Facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Click the like button. It's just a nice thing to do.
And if you'd like to join one of our members-only lounges, they're online communities of like-minded people.
Yeah.
You can find them by going to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/members only, and you'll find the links there.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their beautiful music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thanks to all of you, dear friends, for tuning in. Ciao.
Bye-bye.